We are here with Pastor Elliot Boston. We are also excited about the technician that I've learned, Mr. Kevin Cole, and then also Mr. Marvin. And so I am just excited to be with these gentlemen. They are all leaders in a church that I'm excited that has joined the MyBLVD family in Taylorsville. Did I say that right? Is that the right there, Taylorsville?
Yeah.
Right. And this is officially the oldest church in the MyBLVD family of churches, and it is the oldest because it has been around for how long, Pastor Elliot?
Over 100 years, over 120. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the church. Tell us a little about your story. How did you become the pastor of the church? Yeah, share a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, no problem. So again, like to say, this church, Liberty Grove Missionary Baptist Church, started in 1904. I think at an old schoolhouse building is where they used to meet at. And from there, church just continued to expand and grow through God's grace, through faith. I'm actually an individual who grew up in the church. The same church. And so I like to look at it as a way of oftentimes, you get a chance to plant seeds. Your people who've taught you in Sunday school various things, but then those seeds sort of grow out and then they go off. And they do great work wherever they go, but you never get a chance to really see the labor that individuals have put in. So for me, it's been a very awesome thing because to pastor this church that I grew up in after leaving and coming back, it is those members that taught me in Sunday school are still there. They're still in this congregation, and for them, it is a great moment for so many because it's like this congregation helped to raise a pastor. And so what it does is it just, again, shows the longevity that oftentimes many people don't get a chance to see. So I'm honored and blessed in that. And then from that, this church has continued to be like a family style church, but is expanding in a way that you can definitely bring people along that can just come in and just worship. And again, just have that opportunity to experience a family. And so we're excited about that and excited about, again, just taking what I would like to say the baton, some of our brothers and sisters who've just been grinding for years, and they're just like, hey, we've planted, we've plowed, and now we're looking for the next generation to take the baton, but not leave us. But we want to continue to just kind of keep everybody together. And so yes, it creates challenges, but it's also a wonderful opportunity. And so yeah,
I was going to ask you that, like, how does that feel to pastor people that changed your diapers?
Yeah, so a lot of people was like, hey, you crazy, don't do it, you can't pastor the church that you grew up in because of so many different challenges. And yeah, so those were things that I definitely thought on, like, I don't know if this is possible. But again, through the Lord just showing and just allowing me to be able to see, like, man, this was also honoring. This is also the ability to be able to shepherd and then also lead some of the people that have, like you just said, cared for you through those early stages of life. And so it's exciting. It is challenging, but it is definitely, I've been able to see that this was the Lord's doing in times past. So
yeah. So how was it like for you guys? You gentlemen, I don't know if you grew up in the church as well. You have a similar story, but like, how share a little bit about your story and how you guys have been or are connected to Liberty Grove.
Like Pastor Boston, I grew up in the church, and I think one of the things that he hit on a little bit about it being a family church, because for I don't know how many years, Reverend G.A. Dooley was the pastor, and the Dooleys were some of the founders of the church. So it's always been family, oriented. Leaders have come right out of the church until recently. So it's just good being around people that you know, that you grew up with, that like you said, have changed your diapers, and they're good people, and it just sets a pattern that you want to, like Brother Boston said, just take the baton and keep going. It's just something that we want to add to it. And we want to keep it going because it can work, and we've seen the proof of that.
Yeah, one of the things that I think about, that every generation has the responsibility of contextualizing the first century principles and applying them to the modern day context. Paul says, I become all
Right.
things to all men that I might save some. Deacon Marvin or Pastor Marvin, I'm sorry if you're a pastor or deacon, but
Deacon.
deacon, okay. How is that?
Deacon.
How has that been for you? Like, as you think about, like, what has the rich history and rich tradition that you're building upon the legacy, and then also trying to reach this generation. How would you say has been some of the challenges, and even the good things that have come from that struggle?
Well, like I say, I think that the challenge is, like I say, discipling is just growing up in the same, neighborhoods and attending the same churches. Sometimes, they don't hear us as well as they would somebody else. But I think by the way we live our lives, and they see us on a day-to-day basis, and the way we interact, that helps, us to be able to disciple those guys.
Yeah.
And like you say, it makes it easier, but still, yet it's challenging.
Yeah. What about you, Kevin? I mean, in the same way, like, how would you, like, what's your story? How did you grow up in the church as well? What's your journey?
No, yeah, I'm relatively new to the church. I guess going on year 3, right, of
Okay.
joining the church. But I joined via my wife, who did grow up in the church, right? So she's from Taylorsville, North Carolina. We moved away. We met at college, right, and lived about 3 hours away for 20 years or so. And through the connection with my wife being praise and worship leader, right, singer, doing community events in the past with Pastor Elliot, and talking about doing a reunion choir, right? This was all around the time that I think, Pastor Elliot, you were associate pastor at that point.
Yeah.
And then, heading toward becoming pastor. And, we were just really listened to the Lord and felt the call to come to, we're in Hickory, right, which is a few minutes away from Taylorsville, but really felt the call to come and just help, and whatever God laid or, prepared for us to do. My wife, started, well, she led the praise team right there at church, and I help. I help with whatever I can help with, right? The ministry of help, I think it talks in the Bible. So it doesn't.
Amen.
Yeah, I don't need a specific.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
usually I only have the pastor on here, and the pastor, I ask him, what type of pastor are you? What type of, what would people expect? But now that you guys are on, you can tell us what type of Pastor Boston is. If they were to come to the church or visit the church, what should they expect?
Yeah, and I'll just go ahead real quick. When you read the definition of a shepherd, that is exactly Pastor Boston. He just loves people, loves to talk with people, he has that care, and concern. You can't underestimate that. In this day and age with churches, a lot of times we forget that it's a flock that you're shepherding, right? And he takes that to heart, and that's coming to this area, to this church, being new, right away you felt the love of the congregation. I think that emanates from the pastor.
Yeah, I agree totally with what you said, because he is a loving guy, and I think he does a lot of one-on-one. He don't try to leave anyone out. He tries to find a spot for everyone, and I think everybody really appreciates that about him because, like I say, no matter what level, if you with the youth, he was a youth minister for, led the youth, and the seniors. I mean, he taught Wednesday night Bible class for several years with the seniors. So he's sort of been an all around pastor, and I'd say loving and caring for his congregation and his people. I think that's
Amen.
what we've
Amen.
got.
Amen. So, Pastor Elliot, I mean, when you think about standing on the shoulders of so many years, and we oftentimes talk about at Boulevard, like in the year 2100, right? In the year 2100, my oldest son will be 92 years old. My middle son will be 91, and my youngest son will be 89. And we always talk about what kind of investment are we making right now, that will impact them. And for you to be pastoring a church that for over 100 years and standing on the shoulder of the investment of so many saints before you, how do you go about stewarding that, and honoring the past, but at the same time still also trying to reach, the present?
Yeah, I think that is one of the main reasons why we took it to the church as a goal to link up with this MyBLVD family, because it was really clear and I've only been pastoring for 3 years, but initially seeing that what the congregation needed in our context, the way our church is structured, they can't get it all from me. And so to have the ability to be able to connect with pastors that have walked in various different ways of life, but however could really feed into our congregation, it was just like a win-win. Because oftentimes you go off to conferences, you receive so much information. The hot is, as I come and do classes, I'm writing down like crazy, but there's probably times you can look and be like, this is a lot. This is a lot for him to be able to take in. And so to be able to possibly link up with this family that could possibly someday be able to have musicians or youth leaders to connect with other youth leaders, it would just it would just be a great investment because people won't burn out. The realness of being lonely or discouraged, just for the simple fact of you're just stuck trying to figure it out. If there was a better way, man, let's do that. And so for me, it was just like a no. It was just a win-win. You know what I mean? This would be a great way to invest that has already been poured into this church family for years to come, so that it can extend and forward. So yeah.
Man, amen. And like you said, I think the words that you said were apropos when you say it's a win-win, because every time we get together, I'm always so encouraged about your faith, your passion, your desire to engage, your eagerness to both give and to receive. I mean, this just remind me of the Apostle Paul when he said, right, to the Church of Rome, when he says, I'm eager to both give, but also to receive. And I think that's been your posture, that one of humility. And I think that we need that. We need that, especially in such a time as this. And so thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your humility. And I'm looking forward to you continually in the whole Liberty Grove family pouring into the network as the network and family pours into you guys. And so I'm looking forward to it. And welcome to MyBLVD. Welcome to being a part of the first 40. And so it is truly a blessing. So thank you. And until next time, this is MyBLVD.